I am in Switzerland at Villa Diodati. Frankenstein was written by Mary Shelley, 1 year after Mount Entemora's outbreak in Indonesia. I need to tell you something. The myth, the Entemora Frankenstein myth, it's not just wrong because the facts don't line up, although they don't. I'll get to that. It's wrong because of what it does to the story. So everything you're about to see was constructed using AI-generated historical imagery based on the Villa Diodati, the landscape of Lake Geneva, and historical records of what the summer of that year actually looked and felt like. The people, the clothes, the food, the lights, all of it painstakingly built image by image. Enjoy, guys. This was a lot of work. It smells like rain that hasn't fallen yet, like the sky is holding its breath. Okay, so I'm in Geneva, and the reason I'm here somewhere on the side of this lake, in a villa that a very famous and very dramatic English poet rented for the summer. A 19-year-old girl is about to write one of the most important novels in the history of human civilization. And for the last decade, give or take, the internet has been absolutely insisting that she wrote it because a volcano in Indonesia blew up. That's the myth. That's what we're here to dismantle. So the first thing I notice, and I notice this every time I land somewhere in the early 1800s, is how low everything is. Like, not just the buildings. The sky feels low. The clouds are sitting right on top of the hills. And it's June. It's supposed to be summer. It is not giving summer. It's giving, like, November in Leeds. That specific kind of gray where you can't tell if it's 9 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. That gray. Now, Kim, this is important context, because the mist, the cold, the generally miserable weather, and this is what people always point to when they talk about the Kimura theory. The volcano made it dark, and that's why Mary Shelley wrote a horror novel. And I'm standing here going, okay, but the road is narrow, there's no pavement, obviously, just packed mud and gravel and the occasional very stressed-looking horse. The buildings are okay, they're quite beautiful, actually, if you can get past the smell, which is a lot. I'm not going to describe it. You know what it is? It's 1806. Doors here are genuinely tiny. I'm not even tall and I would have to duck. I don't know how Percy Shelley, who is by all accounts, quite a lanky person, navigated this village without constant head injuries. Just between you and me, I think the 19th century was built for people who were slightly shorter and significantly less precious about personal hygiene than I am. Moving on. These are really good onions. They are the last of them. I think the ones in the ground did not come up as they should have done. The harvest. It's been bad? For 2 seasons now, yes. Last summer was, you would not believe it if you had not been here. We had frost on the hay in July midi-moist. My father says it is God's correction. My brother says it is the war. The ground does not care about politics, I told him. The ground is cold because the sky is cold. Which do you think it is? I think it does not matter what made it cold. Midi-moist, only that it is. For the foreigners in the big house up the hill, they buy what they need and they leave when the weather is unpleasant. For us, we stay. Are you from the villa? Not exactly. I'm just passing through. They buy what they need and they leave when the weather is unpleasant. She said it without any bitterness. So I've been told this is onion soup. I believe them. It smells like onion soup. It looks like water that has been near an onion and is making its peace with that. It's fine. It is genuinely fine. It's warm and it tastes of something, and in 1816, in the middle of a bad harvest, I should probably be grateful. The bread is dense, and I mean that in the kindest possible way. If someone threw this at you in the street, you would know about it. This bread has done labor. This bread has opinions. But here's the thing, and this is what I keep coming back to as I sit here in what is, I'll admit, a deeply charming little inn despite everything. The people eating around me don't look broken. They look tired. There's a difference. A man over there is arguing with someone about a fence. 2 women are sharing a plate and talking very quickly in a dialect I can barely follow. Someone's dog is asleep under the table by the fire. This isn't a world that's collapsing. This is a world that is having a very hard few years. And it has been having hard years since Napoleon started having feelings about Europe. That's the thing no one tells you when they do the whole Temora blew up and created Frankenstein story. The suffering wasn't new in London 6. The suffering had been going on for over a decade. The war had already taken everything from these people. Temora, if it did anything, added insult to a wound that was already very, very deep. Anyway, I'm going to finish this. Okay, so Villa Diodati, that's where I need to be. That is M for context and where Lord Byron is currently residing, where Percy Shelley and Mary Godwin are staying as guests. Where, on a night very much like this one, rainy, cold, the kind of weather that keeps you indoors, they are going to sit around reading ghost stories and Lord Byron is going to say, famously, we will each write a ghost story. And that's the night. That is the night Frankenstein begins.
The villa is not receiving visitors, Mademoiselle. Lord Byron has given express instructions.
Right, yes, I completely understand. I'm not a visitor, exactly. I'm more of a researcher.
The villa is not receiving researchers.
What about admirers of the work?
The villa is not receiving.
Admirers of the architecture?
No.
Well, he didn't say no to admirers of the cute dog. I have located what appears to be a section of wall that is, and I use this term loosely, manageable. I've climbed worse. Probably. I haven't climbed worse. Just so we're clear, I'm not breaking in. I'm entering via an unofficial access point in the spirit of historical inquiry. No pressure? Oh, it's okay. It's nice in here. Like, obviously it's a villa, obviously it's Lord Byron's villa, but when you spent the last few hours in low-siling stone rooms with onion mushroom soup and very opinionated bread, this feels like another planet. The carpet is thick. That's the first thing, like, genuinely thick. My boots are just sinking into it slightly, and that feels like an act of mercy. And it's warm. It's actually warm in here. There's a fire somewhere nearby. I can smell it. And there's something else. Books, I think. Paper, ink. The smell of a house that is full of people who are reading things. Byron, Percy Shelley, Mary. She's 19. I need you to hold on to that. She is 19 years old, and on the other side of that door. Ideas are forming that are going to fundamentally shape how Western civilization thinks about science and creation, and what it means to make something you can't control. And in 2,000 years, people are going to reduce all of that too. Well, it was raining outside. She deserved better than that myth.
You are not one of Mrs. Claremont's friends.
No, I came in through the side.
Through the wall, I'm told. Rignault is furious. You have the look of someone who wants something.
I want to understand something, actually, about tonight, about the writing, the story experiment. I know that tonight, Tiebim, or a night very much like tonight, you're going to ask everyone to write a ghost story, and that Mary Godwin is going to write something significant.
The weather is a convenience. A mood. Mary does not write from moods. She writes from ideas. Now, I won't ask how you got here, as I suspect the answer is either impossibly complicated or impossibly dull. But I would suggest you leave before Regnault returns with reinforcement.
The people in the village, the bad harvest, the cold. Does it affect her writing? What she sees?
Everything affects a writer who is paying attention. The question is whether the cause of the cold is the point, or whether what she does with the image of suffering is the point. The point, I have always found, is never the weather.
When you say Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein because a volcano made the weather bad, you take a 19-year-old woman who was thinking seriously and rigorously about revolution and science and power and what happens when men create things they refuse to take responsibility for, and you reduce her to someone who is just like sad about the rain. Marguerite, the woman at the market, she said it does not matter what made it cold, only that it is. She was talking about surviving winter. But I keep thinking about it in reverse. It doesn't matter what made the darkness, it matters what you make from it. Mary made Frankenstein.